The new Tundra is available with either an analog instrument cluster or a digital instrument cluster. The analog instrument cluster is offered on the SR, SR5, and Limited models, whereas the digital instrument cluster is going to be found on the Platinum, 1794 edition, TRD Pro, and Capstone models. In today's video, I'm going to give a quick side-by-side comparison of the two systems. First off, this is the analog instrument cluster, which you can see has a nice, simple, clean layout to it. On the left-hand side, we've got our tachometer with an engine temperature gauge and oil pressure gauge. Right-hand side, we've got the speedometer with a voltage readout and fuel gauge. And then in the middle, we've got a small LCD screen, which gives us the temperature outside. We've got a clock. It lets us know what gear we're in down below, and then we've got our odometer. We can also scroll through a number of settings using the controls on the steering wheel, and you'll see that it's got a number of features available on this LCD screen. We can also go to those various modes and scroll down. So for example, if we go to fuel economy, we could scroll down, see a few different options here. All right, next up we've got our digital instrument cluster, which does have a pretty cool startup screen. The other thing that's pretty cool about that startup screen is that it actually changes each time you turn it on and off. So we'll go ahead and turn the truck off again, and then we'll turn that back on again, and you'll see another new startup screen. And there's several screens that it will scroll through. We'll go ahead and turn it off again and do that one more time just so you can see one more of those images. So that's kind of a cool feature. It's actually my favorite feature on the LCD instrument cluster. And you can see now it comes up with kind of your standard screen. You'll see that it's got a digital speedometer in the middle that's outlined by kind of an analog looking tachometer. We've got our turbo boost gauge on the right hand side, and then on the left hand side we've got that same LCD screen that you would have seen in the middle on the other instrument cluster. Up top we've got our temperature readout, clock, and then down below we've got our voltage gauge, oil pressure, fuel gauge, and engine temperature, and then also our gear selector and odometer. So basically we're getting the same information in both instrument clusters. It's just displayed differently, and certainly with the digital instrument cluster it's a little bit flashier. Another thing that's kind of interesting is if you change through the various drive modes that we've got here. For example, if we go to the Sport S mode, it's going to change the look of that instrument cluster slightly, giving it a more sporty appearance. So kind of cool to have that functionality that you don't get with the analog instrument cluster. But as much as it's kind of unique, I think that I actually prefer the standard analog instrument cluster myself. Go ahead and try out that comfort mode. So you can see it's basically just the Sport S Plus mode that gives us that unique instrument cluster, and all the others are essentially the same, which is surprising. You would have thought they would have had a different look for each of those different modes, but they're essentially the same with the exception of the Sport S Plus mode. So there you go, that's a side-by-side look at the analog and digital instrument clusters for the 2022 Toyota Tundra. Love to hear what you guys think about these two systems in the comment section below. Which one do you prefer? For me personally, I actually like the analog instrument cluster more than the digital option. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And for more videos of the all-new Tundra, be sure to subscribe. In the meantime, thanks for watching.